I have been doing this way longer than Mary Concha.
Tell us what you're wearing. 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 Tell us what you're wearing.
Hi, this is George from JT Tailoring with another episode of In Your Closet. Today you get a special treat. We're going to do a closet tour, but we're also going to do a little tour of my workshop as well. This is the apartment. We have the kitchen that faces out the back, and then our nice little dining room area. So this is our living dining room. We have a nice credenza, mid-century credenza with the turntable. I'm kind of an audiophile.
Nice.
My dad fixed up the turntable and actually built the two speakers.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, he's even more of an audiophile than I am.
And tell us about these tables and the furniture. How do you go about sourcing some stuff like this, yeah?
Pretty much everything is from the street. The table actually was left outside just next door and we grabbed it. And then we bought the tables from a little yard sale as well. But yeah, we thrift a lot of stuff, or we find stuff on the street. It's a really good neighborhood to find really good stuff.
Nice. And of course, the bar, right?
Yes, yeah, we got this great built-in bar here that we really love. And at some point somebody put glass in there, which is a good touch. And this is our kind of TV room where we hang even more of our art. We want to fill out this whole wall eventually, but you can see we have a lot of really
Alright. So how long have you been in this apartment?
We've been here, this is our third year here, and we're really looking to be here for a while, so we're settling in, so we're not afraid to hang stuff on the wall.
Alright, nice. Yeah, it looks looking super homey, super warm, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And we can definitely tell that somebody loves vintage in this apartment.
Yeah. So here's our bedroom. It's kind of our nice little cozy nook with these lovely built-in closets. The apartment is turn of the century, and all of the fixtures in here unfortunately are painted over, but they're all these really nice features that when we saw this for the first time, it really
And this is original, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
this is all original. So being in NYC, obviously space is at a premium, so we kind of max out everything. I was kind of joking the other day that our whole room is kind of a walk-in closet. We have the shaker pegs to kind of let stuff hang out here. You know, if it's not going back in the closet. We have all of our outerwear here. And then we both have each side of these closets for ourselves. So this is my side of the closet. You can see these are old, narrow closets. So instead of everything being stacked this way, it actually goes back. I have my pants and trousers over here, and then all my shirts. I'm like kind of in the middle, I think as most people are, of switching from summer into fall and trying to find a way to layer every day is difficult. And then I have my shoe shining box here. I really like to keep all my leather as nice as I can, and then my jewelry box. And then down here, I have my t-shirts. I'm a big proponent of rolling t-shirts. I like to hang as much stuff as possible, but I do roll most of my t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff.
Did you get that from Marie Kondo?
No, I've been doing that. I have been doing this way longer than Mary Concha. Yeah, this one's like kind of deep storage. Out of season clothes. And some old stuff I should probably get rid of. I also have my ties and belts in here. I try to slow myself down because I think if I let myself, I'd have 100 ties.
Like
but
me.
these are like the most select ones that I kind of wear regularly. My belts here. I love belts. Another thing that I'm obsessed with collecting that I have to like stop myself constantly from getting everyone that I see. This is some of our silks and neck scarves here. Both me and my girlfriend really love neckwear, and we found this is a really nice way to display everything. And we're kind of obsessed. If I see a good silk scarf, I kind of buy it. I mean, you can see we have a lot of really good prints here.
Yeah.
And then any vintage store I go in, I dig through. There's always a pile of old ladies' scarves that I like dig through to see if there's anything.
Yeah, and they're like $1, right?
Yeah, they're usually pretty cheap. Yeah.
Right.
Here's our outerwear. We have our rain jackets, trench coats over here, and then some of the shorter coats and chore coats. You can see obviously a mix of stuff I've made and some classic vintage pieces as well. So this is some of the top stuff I'm wearing right now. We're gonna do a little mix of things I've made and some vintage pieces. It's kind of between seasons, so trying to figure out what to wear is kind of always tricky. So this is my linen pullover top that I made out of this really lovely chambray linen. And I've had this for a couple summers, so you can start to see some really nice fades happening here. This is a really simple design, but I really love this one, and it works really well.
Nice, and I love how simple like the one button thing you did on it is, right?
Yeah, just kind of like the fisherman smocks that just have the one tab button there.
And stuff like this, like where do you find the pattern for something like this?
I do all my own patterning, so everything is patterned from scratch. This is a vintage piece I actually got from Reunion Vintage, a really lovely old, probably 50s, maybe 60s denim pearl snap shirt. It's been well loved. I've actually done quite a bit of repair on it. The collar's starting to go, so I've done a lot of invisible stitching to hold that together, but I absolutely love this one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're introducing something new into your closet, right? Let's say this piece is obviously something that you did not make. How do you go about choosing, you know, what to fill in the holes with?
Yeah, it has to be the right thing, obviously, and it's usually something that I wouldn't want to put the time in making myself, or that even just the wear, this being, you know, 60 plus years old at this point, you know, it would take me a long time to wear something in this much. So when I saw this with all of the lovely fades and, you know, a lot of the details like the pearl snaps and everything, I saw it and I thought, you know, this isn't something that I'd take the time to make, so I want to buy it. This is another chambray shirt from that same chambray. This is just a little fresher. I wanted a nice button-up version with the flat pocket, and you can see how much fresher this stuff is. This
this is the same exact fabric, but it looks so much darker.
Yeah, it starts out really dark. It's a really nice indigo to slate, and then over time it kind of gets more gray.
Yeah, super dope.
This is another one of my pieces. This is a chambray that I found actually just around the corner here, and I really love this shirt. I wanted to pop over for a while, and so I made this one last year with the single pocket.
I think I've interviewed you in this,
is what
right?
I was wearing when you saw me on the street. Yeah, I think I had like just made it pretty recently from.
Yeah, I remember you were like super proud of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming you still are, yeah?
Yeah, I love this thing. I wear it constantly.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's starting to wear in really nicely. Here's another button-up shirt from this amazing red line salvage shirting that I got. It's one of my favorite fabrics. I love to make stuff out of it. And yeah, this time of year, I'm wearing this like constantly.
And where did you source this fabric from?
This is from a place around here. Actually, it's just a mom and pop shop that they have really good stuff. They used to have a much larger store in Manhattan, and then they moved out here to Queens. And they have surprisingly a really good selection of fabrics. Awesome. So I get lucky with that. So moving into bottoms, this is the first pair. This is a really special pair of trousers I've been looking for a while. These are US Navy dress pants from the 50s with the fly front. So these aren't the broad falls that you see mostly, and they were also in my size. But the thing that was really special about these is when I went into the pocket and I was trying to determine the exact age of them, they had
what's that?
The original receipts from the YMCA clothing house where they were purchased. So I have the guy's name and then everything else that he purchased along with these trousers.
Oh my goodness. So this must be a treasure for a tailor like you, right?
Yeah, this was really special. I was really excited to find these in the first place. This quality of wool is really hard to get. So the old stuff is really the best. But yeah, the fit on them, I just absolutely adore. I knew it was something really special when I found them. So I really love these.
And where'd you find this at?
I found this at a fabric store in Massachusetts, and it was in a plastic bin labeled wool. So I didn't even know there was gonna be pants in there. I was just looking for fabric. This is another pair of vintage US military dress trousers. These ones are Army. And I think these ones are dated to the 37 model. You can see in the tag there. And again, I found these ones and they fit me just so well that I had to have them. And
you didn't have to do any kind of alteration or tailoring to them?
I did let out the waist a little bit, and then I did add cuffs as well. And then I believe I also redid the buttonhole in the front there. But they were in really good condition. They didn't really have any stains. I love the Hollywood waist with the welted watch pocket. It's just such a classic detail.
Nice. Great find, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a pair that I made. And these kind of I don't usually do this, but these kind of came together when I got the fabric. I was ordering fabric for another project, and I saw this denim, and I kind of instantly fell in love. And I knew it had to be pleated front denim chinos, because I've been trying to find fabric to make these pants out of for a while. So this fabric kind of came to me, and then I made these. These are pretty fresh. The weight of the fabric and the way it's woven, you can see all of the broken yarns in here that give it that speckly look. And they're also, you know, this lovely red line selvage that I utilized on the side seam. But yeah, the weight of it, and I actually fully washed the denim. So
and what made you give it to like these huge belt loops?
Yeah, I was inspired by this pair that I had seen somewhere that had similar belt loops from the 50s with the asymmetrical belt loop in the front. But it was something that I kind of had, a design detail that I'd had in my mind that I really wanted to utilize in this pair.
Yeah.
So also, you know, as the weather changes, these are great in-between pair of pants that I made. This is a nice HBT twill fabric that I got that I made these broad falls out of, which are my favorite type of trouser. So instead of a front fly in the center, the entire front actually comes down with this belting in the middle. And it's just a really clean front that I think is really flattering, that I'd love to see more of.
Is something like this derived from the military, this kind of design?
This, no, is actually older than that. It's a really old-fashioned type of trouser. And you do see like motorcycle pants and stuff, you know, in the 20th century, but you know, a lot of trousers in the 19th century had this broad fall, or even like a narrow fall. Final pair. These are probably my all-time favorite jeans that I've made myself, based off of old US Navy patch front jeans that I've had for a few years now, and you can see I'm starting to get some really good wear in them.
Yeah.
But yeah, with these lovely patch pockets in the front, and of course the button fly. But yeah, I absolutely love this fabric and these jeans. You know, always treat me right.
Love the whiskering, So, are you the type of person that does not wash their selvage?
It really depends on the fabric. Like the other pants we looked at, I washed it beforehand. You know, I can throw it in the washer with no problem. This stuff I never pre-shrunk before I made the pants. And I do wash these by hand in cold water and then hang dry. So there is some pairs that I don't wash as frivolously as others, for sure. So moving to outerwear, we have a mix of stuff for the season that we're going through. So some lighter linen and cottons to my raincoat, and then my jacket that's wool lined as well. So it, you know, kind of ready for the colder weather.
Let's jump into the first one.
So this is one that I made for myself this summer, made from this lovely linen twill fabric that I got in the garment district here in NYC, with some really lovely details with the reinforcement for the pockets in the front, the gusseted pockets, and then of course the classic action back with the belt across the...
So you see something like this mostly on like a safari jacket. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like that safari jacket, and in the 30s, you know, you have your more sporting wear stuff that they have like the action back, as you see it called a lot of the time.
So this just gives you like more arm and shoulder movement, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This is my very loved HBT Army jacket that I actually shortened a little bit. You can see I did a French seam to kind of crop it a little bit on my body. And I've done a lot of repair work on this, but it is dying as quickly as I can bring it back to life. But I absolutely love this jacket.
The distressing is what makes it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So something like this, you wouldn't want it to look like new, right? You want to have like the lived-in look, right?
Yeah, I definitely really liked this one for the character.
Yeah, and it has like cinching on the back as well, right?
Yeah, it has these really awesome little side belts, so you can adjust the waist. As we get more into fall and the rain comes more, this is my go-to rain jacket. It's not super old, it's probably like 80s, maybe 90s London fog, but the quality of it is really phenomenal, and it has a zip out lining as well. But this is a go-to for those cold, rainy fall days.
Did you thrift this one?
I did, yeah. I got this from a Savers probably like 5 years ago. So this is another one of my favorites, my waxed hunting jacket that I made from British Millerin waxed canvas.
Corduroy details, right?
Yes, with the Italian corduroy on the cuffs and the shooting pad to kind of absorb some shock from the gun. But I love this one, and I absolutely wear it.
And you said this is waxed?
Yeah, this is waxed canvas. It probably needs a refresher, but yeah, it treats me really well.
And I love how you add like these. What are these called? Chin straps.
It's a throat latch.
Throat latch. It just like keeps the wind out and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one of my favorites. This one's getting more into cold weather. It actually is the same denim as the jeans that we looked at, and it's also lined with this super fine wool lining, so it keeps you really nice and
and from what I remember, this is the one I stopped you in as well, right?
Yes.
And I remember putting because it had like these boxer pockets. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, just little hand warmer pockets that are super nice.
Yeah, super standard. And again, I love these cinchers. Yeah, that you always add.
Yeah,
love that one.
and you can see all of
one of my
the salvage
favorites,
on the inside too. So these are some of my favorite ties. A lot of silk in here, and then this wool one, and then also this really fun cotton block print one as well. So this is a great one, this raw silk square-ended tie from the 60s that I wear a lot, and the colors on it are just so good. You can see I have a color palette here for sure. This is another square-ended tie. This is a modern tie. I believe it's probably from Italy. Silk knit tie that I really love the colors on. Fortunately, there's no label on this one, and I absolutely love it. This one's actually kind of an obsession of mine, these Rooster square-ended cotton ties. They were kind of this cheap brand that made a lot of ties starting in the 60s and then going forward from there. This one's actually from the 70s, and it was a lot bigger, but I actually cut it down to be more of that skinnier size that I like to wear. The print on it is just absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
This next one is one of my favorites. I got it at Crowley Vintage, and it's this really amazing wool tie from the 60s that I've had to do a little bit of work on. There was some moth holes through it that I had to gently pull together, but it's still holding on and is
nice.
definitely...
And from what I remember, again, I interviewed you in this as well.
Yes,
right?
Yeah,
full circle. Yeah,
absolutely. Another one of my ones that I gravitate towards a lot is this 30s silk tie. Ooh. With the lack of tipping in the front, which I absolutely love. And it has almost that atomic pattern on it, which is really stunning.
Yeah, I love this blue and orange combo now.
And this one I also had to, it was in kind of rough shape, so I took it apart and kind of
rebuilt. And I love that the stuff that you have, you actually like wear them, because like as we can see, some like show us some of this stuff here. Yeah,
so these are some of the older ones that I have that I really loved and wore for a long time, but unfortunately, as silk does, it started to shatter. And so I like to have them around. I like to look at them because they are really pretty, but they've kind of just lived to the end of their life. Moving into more accessories, these are some of my favorite scarves and handkerchiefs that I wear a lot. And these are kind of like another obsession of mine. So this one I actually found pretty recently, and I saw it and I just absolutely fell in love. It's pretty wacky. It's like this old pink corn stalks with this wheat on the brown background. It was really unique, and the pink really stood out to me.
Yeah, and what brand is this? Is this hand rolled edges too?
Yeah, I always look out for the good hand rolled edges. I believe this Echo is an English brand, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
What do you love so much about the hand rolled edges?
It's just a really nice detail, and it gives almost a softer edge when you're wearing it. So here's the next one, another thrifted silk scarf, and these polka dots again. Just I saw it hanging and I had to have it. We
have the burnt orange, right? It really ties into the one before, and we see the next one there, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, and it's perfect for this like autumn season coming up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, hand rolled edges, right?
Yeah, another really great one. This one does have the machined edges, but the print on it was just so striking that I had to have it. It doesn't have any label or anything, unfortunately, so I'm not sure where it's from, but this one is one of the older ones. So you can see that when you stitch this, you actually wet your fingers and you roll this and then do almost an invisible stitch to just catch that edge so it's actually not flat, and you should never iron that down to keep that nice hand rolled edge. But this over here you can see is done with a machine.
Yeah, it's completely flat, right?
Yeah. Something everyone has to have is the classic cowboy bandana. Nice salvage on the edge, and this one was well loved before I got it, and I've worn it a lot, and it goes with so many things.
Yeah, and always look out for like 100% cotton made in the USA, right?
Absolutely.
And you can find these like pretty much anywhere, right?
Yeah, these ones are still around. They're not too hard to find for sure. So this is one of my other favorite ones. This is an English floral print, really big one. It's almost a shawl size. I really love it.
How would you wear something like this? Around the neck still?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all of these I pretty much wear around my neck in some form or fashion. So this is the JG Tailoring Studio. This is where all the tailoring happens.
The magic, right?
Yes. Yeah. I have my drafting table and my lovely old Sewmore sewing machine that pretty much everything gets made on.
And these, I'm assuming these are just the patterns up here?
Yeah, these are all my patterns. These are kind of like the hot ones that I use most.
And on this side, you told me your girlfriend does tailoring as well, right? She's a dressmaker?
She's a dressmaker, yeah. So this is kind of her side that I take over sometimes. But yeah, so this is her drafting table. And then we have plenty of storage for fabric. I'm always collecting fabric. If I see something good, I try to grab it.
And you got another studio another stereo in here.
Yeah, so this is more speakers that my dad made.
Oh, wow.
And they're really nice. I really like having high quality sound. I'm from Rochester, New York. I first came to the city to take a job as a tailor at a burlesque company here in Brooklyn, XIV, company XIV, doing work for them. And then that kind of pulled me in, and then pretty shortly after I moved here permanently and started doing some stuff for artists, some sculpture work, as well as my own tailoring stuff. And then I also started working at Crowley Vintage, doing tailoring and repairs and helping manage the shop and that sort of thing.
A little about the background. So how did you start getting into tailoring?
So originally I got kind of brought into the world of sewing and tailoring through a museum that I worked at upstate, and I was around a lot of 19th century menswear, which is kind of where I first got sucked into being obsessed with vintage. I got really interested in the methods that they were using to sew clothes and how things were put together. So I started reading old tailoring books to try to teach myself more and examining originals. And I started actually reproducing that stuff for museums and film and TV. I kind of moved up from the 19th century into more 20th century things, which is where I definitely have found my place with my more current tailoring that I'm doing now, which is a lot of workwear inspired stuff that you'll see me making.
Sure. So I know a lot of the stuff that we talked about, that we saw, a lot of menswear, a lot of vintage inspired things. Do you do any women's stuff?
I don't really do so much women's stuff. A lot of my stuff is for anybody, any body type. It isn't specifically for men. I do a lot of that sort of thing with the workwear and that sort of thing, but I try to make stuff that anybody could wear.
So which one came first, tailoring or your love of vintage?
Definitely tailoring in a more historical sense of doing costuming and that sort of thing. And then through there, I kind of discovered more modern clothing, even though it is still vintage stuff.
What is your lane in terms of collecting vintage?
I really like to collect stuff. I don't buy too much stuff. I like to make things. If I do buy something, it's usually something that needs repair or needs to be altered, and because I'm really picky about what I wear. So a lot of the stuff is stuff I've made, but I'm always looking for interesting pieces and inspiration from books or online, or stuff that I do find in stores. Yeah. So
talk to us a little bit about the business side of things, right?
It kind of started about 5 years ago with the idea of I was making all of these historical pieces for museums and that sort of thing. But it wasn't stuff, I was putting all this energy into stuff I wasn't wearing. And about that time, I really started to think about what I was wearing on my body and the things that I liked. So I was taking some of that inspiration, and I kind of wanted to turn it towards myself and use my skills for the things that I made. And then it kind of evolved from there, where I started to make stuff for other people, and it's just kind of kept growing from there.
Let me know, what do you think about the current state of menswear?
I honestly think it's really exciting with everything you're seeing today. You see a lot of different inspiration coming from a lot of different directions, and people buying, used clothing and vintage stuff is really great, because something that I find is really close to me is sustainability, which is why I really like I grew up, buying clothes for myself, and I would go to Goodwill or like the Army Navy store and get stuff for myself. And that sort of leads into what I'd make today, which I really try to use like all natural materials and that sort of thing. And I see a lot of that today coming through stuff people are wearing, more so that in the past, I think, with people trying to think more about where their clothes are made. And obviously, still have a lot of fast fashion and people wearing things for the season that it's cool and then getting rid of it. But you do, I think, really see an underswell of people thinking more about clothes and thinking about who's making them and where they're from and whether it's used or, new. It's not, everybody isn't thinking about it, but I do think there is a movement towards thinking about craftsmanship and thinking about the life of the clothes that you do wear.
So, two-part question. So, leading off of that, right? Mm-hmm. So I know as a tailor, it's all about the fit, right? Mm-hmm. So one piece of advice for modern men today in terms of, looking proper or getting the right fit for something, mm-hmm. and also for that same gentleman who wants to maybe consign a piece from you, how would that process work?
Yeah, I think it kind of ties into what I was saying where, think about where your clothes are coming from and what it's made out of. I like to have stuff that I know that when it does reach its end, it can rot back into the earth. I like to think about that a lot. Mm-hmm. So think about what you're buying and then really just wear your clothes and buy stuff that you genuinely like. Because if you're buying something because it's the fashion of the moment, but it's not really you, that's probably just going to get, thrown away. So wear stuff that you really like and really works for you, and just, you don't have to have a big closet, you just have to have stuff that works well together. I'm a big proponent of higher rise trousers. Wear stuff with a wider leg. I think that's really in right now. And just wear stuff that you're going to be comfortable in. And I think with that, when you are comfortable, you're going to look a lot cooler than if you're wearing something that you're not really comfortable wearing.
Awesome. Getting a piece from you, the process of it.
Yeah, so right now I'm pretty much just doing bespoke stuff. So the best thing to do is if you see something on my Instagram page that you like, anything on there I can remake for you, and it can be a more sized option where it's just, you tell me your size and I make it for you, or we can do fittings and make a mock-up if it's a more detailed thing, or if you see something that, some vintage piece or something that you want to have remade in your size. I'm always down for a fun challenge like that.
And does this have to be like a face-to-face thing?
No, not at all. I can do, if it's a more detailed thing, I can send a mock-up, but just reach out to me on my Instagram or my email and just start talking to me. And, I try to tell people, don't be afraid to reach out. The worst thing I can say is it's beyond what I can do, but I'm genuinely really down to try stuff.
And if you need measurements, you can actually tell somebody remotely how to take measurements, correct?
Yeah, I have a sheet, and then I can walk you through it, and we can even do a virtual measuring and stuff like that. If you're not in New York City, we can make it work for sure.
Awesome. All right. So plug everything. Plug the socials. Plug the website. Just everything you want the public to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So my email is jgtailoring@gmail.com, and I'm on Instagram as jgtailoring, and those are the best ways to reach out to me. I'm still working on a website.
Coming soon?
Yes, coming soon, coming this winter. But yeah, definitely Instagram and my email are the best ways to see what I'm doing.
And last but not least, I know you told me a little bit. I don't know if you're ready to let the cat out the bag yet. I know you're doing something for the public, right? Talk a little about that, and I'll let you go.
Yeah, so I've been trying to work on a run of things for a while now. I do all my own patterning and grading of my pattern, so it's taken a while, but I'm trying to build out a sized run of the short jackets, like the one that I showed off earlier, that hopefully will be coming this fall. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, don't miss out, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.